Hi, I'm Madeline.
Hi, I'm Chase.
Let's talk games. So we are going to talk about new games in 2020 that we played that we really liked,
Yes.
and then some games that we're excited about that come out at the end of 2020. So our first game we're going to talk about is Forgotten Waters.
Forgotten Waters.
It's so fun. We played it a lot since we bought it. We kind of bought it on a whim. We hadn't read anything about it, but we loved Dead of Winter by Plaid Hat Games. And it's a crossroads games, which means it has some theme and story to it, and it has these events that happen, and it's super fun. And we realized after playing it once, we were like, "This is a gem."
Yeah, it's extremely fun. One of the greatest things about it is you can play with up to 7 players at a time, and it's not one of those just silly party games. This game takes many hours if you're going to sit there and play it correctly, but it is well worth the time. Everyone we've introduced it to has just fell in love with it. They've wanted to play it again immediately, even after we just played for 4 hours. It's just an excellent game. It really splits up the duties really well of all the bookkeeping, and all of the choices are really fun. And the choices that you get to make in the game are really fun.
I guess we should explain what the game is about.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, go ahead.
So, like I said, it's a crossroads game by Plaid Hat, which means that it has a story element to it. So it's a pirate adventure, which is so fun. You're sent on a pirate ship. It's fully cooperative, but there are some things that you can do, some choices you can make that will benefit your pirate and can be a little bit detrimental to the other pirates.
The infamy, yeah.
You want to be infamous, so you do dumb things like jumping in the water to kill a squid when really you needed to be swabbing the deck or something.
Yeah.
So it's just a silly magical game. It's run by an app, and there's some really great voice acting on it, and it's cheesy, but just cheesy enough that it's endearing. And yeah, you're just working on the pirate ship together. You have different scenarios you're trying to complete, different things you're trying to get done. Normally it's about in 4 parts, and so it makes it really easy to pause the game if you don't want to play for 4 or 5 hours. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right in the middle of it, it has a really easy save game mechanic that you can just put it away, pack it up, write everything down, and then come back and play at a different time. But it's been excellent. Yeah. And oh my goodness,
it's so fun, and it has that really cool like character building element that's almost kind of role playing esque.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It has that good character tree that, so you get, like, your characters have these booklets that you get, and you name your character, and on the front, they each have their own constellation, so it's themed to your character. So if you have the, like, snake serpent pirate, your
the all-seeing pirate. Or,
your constellation is set as a snake, and so and then there's a skill tree below it, and so as you do things, like if you sail the ship, you get navigation points. If you fight a sea lion, you get brute, or you get the brute points. And so as you fill out your skill tree, you get to fill in more stars in your constellation, and that progresses your pirate story. And so based off of how many stars you fill in, it will determine your story, how it ends, and so then you get to read your funny endings. And
it's so cool as you're going through the game and everybody's leveling up and whatnot. You get these major story events, not just for the story itself, but personally for each individual pirate.
And they're always silly.
And usually they're pretty silly, but sometimes it'll give you an item or another skill point or something like that. But it advances your story as well as the main story that's going down.
Yeah, and it's to make your character, you fill in Mad Libs, so that's kind of like your character creation, and so it's like fill in a plant or fill in a famous person's name, and then that gets put into your story. So it's always silly and fun, and it's a great introduction for role-playing games because it has a lot of those elements. You roll a die to do a skill check, and then you compare it to your skill tree, and then you from there assign your points. So it's a great introduction for role-playing if you're trying to get family members that into role playing. If you're trying to, if you're trying to introduce them into more story driven games, longer games, that's a great one for that.
Yeah, 100% agree on that. Yeah. There's a lot of great aspects to it, and people that don't normally like sitting and playing video or board games for a long time, they loved this game. So 100% recommend.
Yeah, we've kind of played it with all different types of people in our gaming group, from our hardcore gamers to kind of our introductory players, and so it's been really great. It's one we really like having on our shelf, and I think it's going to be easily expandable for Plaid Hat Games.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, right out of the box, they have, I think off the top of my head, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5
different voice-acted scenarios already that go along with the components in the box. Yeah. So, I mean, it would be so easy for them to, on the web app that they have, just go ahead and add new scenarios that you can use the components for. So easily expandable.
Yeah, well, it's played on the book. If you've played Stuffed Fables or Mice and Mystics, it's played on that book, and it's actually similar to a game we're about to talk about next, where the scenario is all set up for you on the book.
All of the maps and everything is on the book. The scenario tells you exactly where to set everything up at, where to put all your dials. The setup through the app is very good, and it doesn't take long to get set up.
No.
It
looks intimidating.
Yeah.
So when we first pull it out, our friends are just like,
yeah,
excuse you, what are we playing right now? But
it looks intimidating, but the setup's really easy. But the character is basically character creation at the beginning, because you're choosing the type of pirate you want to be, and then you're going through all your backstory stuff, and everyone introduces themselves, and it's very fun.
Really fun. It's also just kind of cheeky, so there is maybe a little bit of a content warning, just a tiny bit. I wouldn't even really push it to PG-13. I guess there's a little bit of language, but
anyway,
but it's just so fun. We also learned that we've been pronouncing boatswain wrong, because it's actually bosun. We learned, so it's educational too. There you go. The more you know. Okay, so a new game we've played.
Yeah, let's move on.
Another game we played this year that came out this year that we really like is Jaws of the Lion.
Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. Everyone, go buy it right meow from your friendly local game store.
Because it's a lion.
Yeah. Thanks for getting that.
You're welcome.
Gloomhaven's awesome, and this is just another installment of it. And they've really fine-tuned some things here. They've had a chance to really go through and make class design choices with these, and this installment is geared more towards the beginner player. Gloomhaven itself is a $150 box of terrifying for most people to look at.
It's like a toddler, really.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Toddler.
How much does the box weigh, like initially?
Like 36 pounds. I don't have a small toddler, but I assume.
Like 36 pounds of box. But Jaws of the Lion is not that. It gets you in. There's no map tiles. Like we said in the previous game, all of the map is laid out for you in the storybook.
Yep.
It has all of that there. It's super easy to set up and get into. There's still the learning curve, a little bit of learning your new classes, but they do a really good job of that, because they give everyone the first 3 or 4 missions are starter missions, and they give you specific intro starter ability cards for your classes to use, so that we can slowly start to learn the game, and it takes you through basically the first 3 scenarios step by step.
Yeah, it makes it a lot, because I think the hardest thing for people to learn in Gloomhaven is that dual card action.
Yes.
And the fact that your deck is a timer for the game. And so people will see these really epic abilities and want to use them, when in reality you almost always need to wait.
Yeah.
There's not we've maybe run into a scenario in Gloomhaven once or twice where we've used our alt in the first 2 turns, but very rarely does it happen right away. And so I think once people can get down that 2-card mechanic, or that 2-level mechanic, they're able to understand Gloomhaven in a whole different way. And so it's just that one learning curve, I feel like. And then after that, they're able to kind of take it and run with it. And that's what Jaws of the Lion does really well, is that it has these like help text and blue boxes on the cards.
And all the beginner cards.
Yeah, and so it just kind of explains when you would use this, why you would use this, and what to combo with. Because if you choose, everyone knows if you choose the top of one, you have to use the bottom of the other, and so on. So
Yeah, I agree. The help text they put on the beginner cards is very helpful, especially for if you're learning the game or if you're teaching the game. Because there's a lot of things where, people ask, well, why would I use this here? It's already there for you.
Right. Yeah, and there's so many symbols and little, like, nuances in Gloomhaven that you have to learn, like, that this means that this card goes away, or this means you use it for the round and then it goes away. And so there's just a lot of nuances within Gloomhaven that can be tough to learn. But once you do, I really think it's just one of the best board games of...
Well, I mean,
we really like Gloomhaven, so we were really excited for Jaws of the Lion.
Yeah. Because we want to be able to grab people and pull them in. We want them to experience and enjoy all of the Gloomhavenness with us.
Yes.
And this just makes it that much easier.
Yeah.
To do.
So I've been asked when I work at Tabletop, if you already have Gloomhaven, is it worth buying Jaws of the Lion? And I think it is. I mean, we had Gloomhaven first. We kickstarted Frosthaven, and now we have Jaws of the Lion, and it's been working really well.
Yeah, I 100% agree. If you have Gloomhaven, buy this also.
Yeah. It's a whole new story, and it's new characters that you can then use in Gloomhaven or Frosthaven, and we really like the new classes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Which I guess we could talk about the classes for a second.
Yeah.
The 4 new classes, because we have the Volrath Redguard.
Yep.
And then we have the Enoch's Hatchet, which you played last night.
Yep.
And we have the Human Void Warden, which our buddy played last night.
Yep.
And then the Quattrel Demolitionist, which I played because...
Yeah. And you punched all of the things.
Because she has Boom Boom Fist, and that's all I want in life is to have Boom Boom Fist.
And a bandana. You can't forget the bandana. It's like pink bandana.
Yeah, she's... I don't actually know...
I think it's a she.
A she?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure. So
yeah,
but I love the new classes. They're awesome.
They're excellent. Mm-hmm. Right, you can really tell they've been able to spend the time and dial in some of the thematic choices for each of the classes. Just right out of the gate, for me playing Enoch's Hatchet, I mean, I was throwing axes at people, throwing my favorite axe, and then following up with another axe, and then going and picking my axe out of my victim's body.
Yeah, it almost had a little bit of like Doomstalker feel from the original Gloomhaven, where you were marking people almost with your hatchet, which was really interesting. It was like a boomerang type effect.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And it was just immediately right out of the gate, you just feel awesome. Yeah. You just feel cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I feel like as Isaac Childress and the other people at Cephalofair Games, as they're developing their vision of Gloomhaven, I think that these classes, even though it's technically a beginner box, they're so well developed that they still feel like a challenge to learn, but in a good way. Like, it's exciting to learn how to play the new characters. Yeah.
They're not any less powerful than any of the other classes.
In fact, we kind of felt like we were doing boss playing level 1. Like,
yeah, we felt level 1. We were all doing 5-6 damage attacks immediately, which was crazy.
Yeah, well, because I mean, if everyone who's played Gloomhaven knows the first mission just destroys you, and they kind of do it on purpose so that you, I guess, lower your expectations for how you're gonna do in the game. And so, yeah, the first scenario of Gloomhaven just wrecks you.
Yeah, we
played
lost
it like 3 times.
At least 3 times. Yeah, we were still learning the game, and
well, I think we played wrong too the first time. I think
we did.
Because the whole system of you add your level together and divide it by whatever. And
then, scenario level and all of that. Yeah.
Turn around 5 times and pray to the gods and figure out this is the monster level. No, it's not that complicated. But this first scenario, it was very introductory. It was like you're traveling to your home, you're traveling back to Gloomhaven, and you get, attacked, whatever. It's very introductory, but it really allowed for everybody to feel out their characters. Yeah. Maybe the only one that I felt like was still trying to kind of figure out in this scenario, maybe didn't help figure out as much, was the Void Warden, because it's very supporty. And you and I were playing these ranged melee huge damage characters, and we were just kind of busting through. Yeah. And then our buddy playing the Void Warden was trying to support, but we didn't need it as much. So I'm curious to see how much that plays in the future, needing that Void Warden. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm super excited to see all the support things that he can do as well. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, 100% Jaws of the Lion. Go grab it if you can. All the new classes are cool. You can pull them into your Gloomhaven campaign if you want. It's 100% worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I know we just backed Frosthaven and it's going to be set up like Gloomhaven, but I love the setup of the book.
Yeah.
It's so much easier because Gloomhaven does take a long time to set up, and we've even got the organizer. We played it so much, and it still takes us at least 30 minutes to set up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I like the ease of Jaws of the Lion, and I'm hoping after Frosthaven maybe we'll have smaller expansions. Maybe we won't do big box expansions. I don't know. It seems like they like to work in those big box realms and develop a whole world, which is great. But I like the small, baby expansions.
Gives you something to play in the mean. Well, Gloomhaven's already so much to play, but
we haven't finished it yet. Yeah. I mean, we've had it for
a couple of years.
Years. I mean, we haven't been as consistent as we probably could be. I mean, opening a business and all is a lot of work, but it's great. We definitely would suggest Jaws of the Lion. One, if you are an avid player trying to get your baby players into something stronger, this is a great one. Cooperative is a great one, a great type of game to pull people in because they don't feel like decisions rest solely on them. That can be scary as a new player.
Yeah.
And this one, especially the first mission, is very I don't want to say basic. That's not the right word.
It is super basic. But but
it's not like
in this situation. It's geared towards new
demon
people.
From this person summons this person. It's like they're rats. You're just fine. Like it's really
Spoilers.
Okay. It's mission 1. Okay, they're rats. Sorry. But yeah, I think you should definitely put this game in your collection, even if you have Gloomhaven. Even if you don't want Gloomhaven, if you don't want big boy Gloomhaven, this is a great one for you.
Absolutely.
So I think it just hits a lot of notes. It was a great choice for Cephalofair to do. The kind of mainstream game. I know they got a lot of flack for it. The kind of the mainstream game, but it's
still good. It's still Gloomhaven. It's just a little smaller.
Well, and we always say at tabletop, like mainstream gamers are still gamers.
Yep.
Monopoly is Monopoly. Clue is Clue. Those gamers are going to eventually want something different. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like, let me tell you about all these other games that are amazing. Yeah. So I think don't be a game snob.
Yeah.
If it sells at Target, that's fine. It's still a good game probably, or an okay game. But anywho.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on.
Okay, so next game we played, this is a small one comparatively.
Very small.
Yeah, 5211. The Azul version is what we played because it's pretty.
It's very pretty.
And we like Azul. So 5211 is just a fast playing card game. It's super simple, super easy to learn. It's like a 2-page rule book. We played it the other night as a filler, or I guess as a warm up before Gloomhaven, and then as a filler, like a after teeth. I don't know how you say it. After whatever. It's like our Scotch and Coke at the end of the night. Your nightcap.
Yeah. There you go. Nightcap works.
Yeah, sure. It's your nightcap. So it has cards that have 1 to 6 numbered, and then it has 5 colors, and then there's these rooster cards, and so. You have 5 cards in your hand, so there's the 5, and then you play 2 cards, then you play 1 card, then you play 1 card. So each round has 3 turns.
Yeah.
And so as you're laying these cards down, you do them face down and everyone flips at the same time, and you're trying to score your points in front of you in your tableau in front of you, but you can bust based off what other people do. So if you're trying to score, you have really good points in the turquoise color.
Yeah.
And then Chase decides to play too many turquoise cards, then you can bust the color. And the same thing with the roosters. If there's 5 rooster cards on the board collectively, the roosters score. But if there's 6, they bust. So
and that number changes based on the number of people
playing.
Yeah,
I guess we played with 3. So
we played with 3 last night. But it's one of those games you're like, this... At least for me, I like playing, a little bit more board games. Or like, strategy board games,
Them thick boys.
The 35-pound box Gloomhavens. That's me. But this one was very, very surprising.
Yeah.
Because we got in, we learned the rules, we played the first round, and after the first round, we were like, oh, You can be real mean.
Well, because we did really bad the first round.
We all did really bad.
Yeah.
But we figured out, and we started figuring out pretty quickly, and I think the rules do a good job of that, figuring out pretty quickly on how you can block opponents from getting points, and how you can try, if you're maybe not doing so well, you can try and piggyback off of someone else who's going to score their color and just right at the end get some points.
Yep.
It's very push your luck-ish.
Some almost bidding element to it.
Yeah, almost bidding. Yeah.
A little bit of bluffing, maybe.
Oh, a lot of bluffing. Yeah, absolutely. You got to have your poker face on. Are you going to play that rooster? Maybe. You don't know.
Yeah, it was surprising.
Yeah, it was very surprising.
We really like card games. Like, we like some just like fast card games. So I should say I mean, you will put up with them, but
I prefer other things. I will play this. Yeah.
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 Ooh, Gloomhaven. But and a lot of times if we're going to play a quick card game, we just pull out a pack of cards and we'll play Rummy or whatever. But lately, like 5 Crowns, Red 7, those type of fast card games that are really strategic, like surprisingly strategic, and take a lot of thought process, but still you can be drinking while you're playing or eating and talking, hanging out with your friends. It's a really good filler intro game, and it's great. I like those type of games, especially toward the beginning of your game night when you're trying to get everyone focused without being like a butthead, like, okay, guys, stop talking or put down your phones or whatever. Like, you're trying to rein your group in. And so those types of games are great because it's like, okay, we're going to deal cards while everyone's talking and not paying attention. And like, here's 2 rules you have to learn. So it doesn't matter if you are still goofing around.
Right.
And like for us, when we were playing and we were trying to rein everybody in, our first round, everybody did terrible. And then everyone was like, hey, I'm going to focus now. Like, I want to do better. Like, excuse you.
Yeah.
So
it's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good rein it in, or, if you have to take a break, if everyone's getting tired from 4 hours of Gloomhaven, it's a good one.
No one gets tired of that. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like the equivalent of, like, I know a lot of D&D groups are using Dungeon Mayhem as a break game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or an intro game to rein their groups in before, because it can be really hard to, especially like if you haven't seen your group for a while, or right now in, quarantine, if you're doing it virtually, or, you haven't seen people and you're just talking, and then like 2 hours have passed and you haven't played anything. And it's like, this was game night. So that's
we're here for games. Okay.
Focus on the games. So those are our 3 new games from 2020 that we've really enjoyed. I know there's a ton.
There's so many new games.
We have not been playing as much as we should, and that's one of the goals of this, is to start playing more new games.
Exactly. Well, and stuff has been delayed as well. So.
Yeah, 2020 has been a weird year. Obviously. Weird.
Jinx.
That's going to trigger like 2020 point.
No. Anyway.
Start chapter 2 of 2020. But that's one of the goals, is now to start playing new games, because a lot of releases are happening in Q3 and Q4, which that always happens anyway because of the holidays, but this feels like it's a massive release.
An overload.
Because we have stuff, I mean, like Fantasy Flight with their investigator decks, those were slated to release like in March or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And Barkham Horror's coming out and stuff like that. So this will be a good time to learn some new games and get some new games in our collection.
Oh, yeah.
Super
excited. Speaking of what's coming up.
Yeah, well, let's if you guys have anything you're excited about, let us know in the chat, and we'll respond to you guys there. If you have something you've played that you've really liked that's becoming a staple, let us know. We love to hear that. And let's actually just take a quick break real quick, and we'll come back.
That's a good point. Yeah, I was getting excited. Sorry.
I know. Lots of new releases. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thanks for letting us take a quick break. So now we're going to talk about some new releases we're really excited about. Q3, Q4. Some of these we don't have an exact date on, but we're still really excited about these.
Super excited.
And so...
you want to start it off?
Sure.
With yours?
Yeah. So we each picked 3 that we're excited to talk about. Some of ours we could have each I'm also excited for your list.
Chime in, probably.
And then we have a few runners up because again there's just so much coming out. And this is all board games. There's a lot of new releases, RPG and miniature gaming wise that we're excited about too, but we're just going to focus on
the
those
board games.
Tabletop board games. Yeah. So my first one that I'm excited about is Mysterium Park. So this is the new one from Mysterium.
Creepy clowns.
Yes. Yeah, your favorite. So this one, I never know how to pronounce that company's name. However you say it.
Yeah, sure. That company's name that makes this game.
Yeah, they also made Obscurio and obviously the original Mysterium. So it is just this beautiful artwork.
Gorgeous.
Really beautiful. I love any kind of mystery games. So yeah, I think probably people will see a theme. Actually, I think all of mine are. Now that I'm thinking about
they
it.
are, yeah.
Every single game has some sort of mystery theme to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I loved Mysterium, and I still really do love Mysterium. Obscurio, when Obscurio came out, kind of solved some of the issues that I didn't like from Mysterium.
Yep, agreed.
And so we often play Obscurio before we play Mysterium. I've been trying to get Mysterium back on the table. Because I like the 3-part aspect of Mysterium where you have your person, your place, and your thing. It's very Clue-esque, and Clue was one of my favorite games growing up.
Sense.
And so I think that's why I like Mysterium so much, because Obscurio, you're just trying to find the room.
Yes.
And so it multiple times. Yeah, it can get a little bit repetitive, but I like the trader aspect of Obscurio.
Yep.
That is tough with Obscurio with smaller players, because often we find ourselves with 4 players.
Yep.
And I don't think Obscurio works with 4 players. I really think it's 5 and 5 up. I've heard people say different things, that they like having the trader, but sometimes we've house ruled it and just take the trader out when we have less than 4, because it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I think
and it kind of becomes just like a side, the trader, we'll figure it out without him. It's and then the trader feels like they're not doing anything. So anyway, Mysterium, for those of you who have not played it, you have one person who has died, and they are sending visions to these detectives who come to the mansion. And Mysterium, it's mansion. It's a very noir setting. Everyone's a psychic, and it has just this really cool artwork and very 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. But so you're getting visions in the forms of these large artwork. It's almost a Dixit-esque. I think they're even a little bit bigger than Dixit. Yeah. And so, or When I Dream, that kind of, things could be different things, and sometimes they're dual-sided. And so that you get the visions, and then from the visions, you're trying to guess from this plateau of cards in front of you, okay, well, my card has green on it, and this suspect's card has a green whatever.
Very deduction-y.
Yeah, and it can get really interesting depending on who your ghost is. Giving
the clues.
Yeah, because if you were giving clues, I could probably figure some stuff out, but then sometimes you're ornery and okay, I'm going to be the complete opposite because my wife knows me too well. 'Cause I'm a ghost. Causing trouble. The ghost all on the loose again. So that gets really interesting. We have one couple we play with where the male counterpart of the couple and myself think very similar, and then the female and you think very similar. And so there are times when I'm just what are you talking about? It's like playing code names. It's just how did you associate those two things? And then there's this whole,
because in my brain they were associated.
This whole train of thought that's okay.
Doesn't make sense to you, but yeah.
How did you get from point A to point B, and how many points were in between? I don't understand it.
At least 3.
Yeah, and so I'm very visual, so it's okay, well, obviously that has a glowy thing in it, and that person is holding a candle, so duh, but no, you're very analytical.
Not like that.
No. So that's really interesting. But okay, so this one, Mysterium Park, same feel of Mysterium, but it's set in the 1950s in the U.S. Fairground, which is just
right up your alley.
Such a great theme. It's such a great theme. I would buy it for the theme alone, but I know that I love Mysterium, so I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
And so there's same theme, same idea. There's a ghost haunting. I guess not haunting because that makes it sound scary. There's a ghost.
They're trying to help because we're still psychics.
Yeah, there's a ghost wandering the fairgrounds, and you are there as psychics, trying to figure out why he died.
Why, ghost, are you here?
Yeah. What are you? What is the meaning of life? And so you only have 6 nights before the carnival leaves town, and so that's your timer.
Yeah.
Whereas in original Mysterium, it was till midnight or something. I think, or it was midnight to sometime, and it was a clock that was.
It was a time.
Yeah. So this one's going by days, so you have 6 days.
Instead of hours.
Yes. Yeah. So same thing. The ghost is giving you visions. I'm so excited to see the artwork on the cards.
I'm pretty excited.
I hope it's just all that super like creepy, we're gonna have like
creepy carnival themes.
Yes, we're gonna have to have like a Spotify playlist that's just creepy carnival music to play.
Yeah,
gotta set that mood.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, because in the original Mysterium they have that voting mechanic that then based off of how many votes you get, it will affect the kind of the second part of the game where you get the final vision. And so that becomes not cooperative. So the first half of Mysterium is cooperative, and then the second half becomes kind of every man for himself. And so far, this one has said it's a fully cooperative game. They haven't said anything about that second mechanic. So I'm interested to see, because when we teach the game, we'll use this game sometimes for team building. We just eliminate that second part completely.
Points. Yeah.
We just play the cooperative. Let's figure everybody's out together. So I'm curious to see if they've eliminated it or what. But it seems like this company likes that kind of secondary, with Obscuro, they had the traitor, and with the Mysterium, they had the everyman for himself.
Gives a little bit more flair, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it just changes things up when you're playing with a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot, so that's definitely one we're so excited for. The artwork, I cannot wait. I am so excited. It's going to be a great Halloween game. It says Q4 is when it's going to be released, so I'm hoping right around
we can still do a Halloween night after Halloween.
Oh yeah, Halloween will live forever. I think we deserve that. Like, we owe that to ourselves. 2020, Halloween can live forever. And Halloween should actually start right now. We should just do that. Just put up a Halloween decoration.
Just start putting out pumpkins everywhere.
Yeah. Creepy pumpkins, though.
Crepey pumpkins.
Creepy pumpkins. Okay. All right. Do you want to talk about one of yours? Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's go to the Arkham Horror one. So, excuse me. Coming out soon. By soon, I mean like October, December-ish, somewhere in there, depending on the world. We have
those
COVIDs. We have Arkham Horror LCG, the Innsmouth Conspiracy, big box expansion, deluxe expansion for Arkham Horror Living Card Game. Arkham Horror Living Card Game is one of my most favoritist games ever. Yes, I said it correctly. Don't you dare correct me.
Right, because yours is like Gloomhaven, TI4, Arkham Horror LCG.
Oh yeah, somewhere in there, mix of those.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this one is just going to be awesome. We're going to Innsmouth. We get to talk to the fish people. Yes. We might even become fish people. Who knows?
That's, yeah.
Deep One hybrids, all of those things. Yeah. We could be whatever. You don't know who I actually am.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, no, I'm super excited for getting into this. Innsmouth is super... it's a very interesting town with very interesting backstory, and it has a bunch of side stories and all of those things from all of the published books, right. So there's so much content that we're going to be able to go through potentially.
Because it's one they've used Innsmouth, like H.P. Lovecraft has used, and it's been kind of embedded in the lore for a really long time. Yeah. It's almost like Arkham or Dunwich.
It's very close to Arkham. Yeah, not far, but it's in a really bleak coastal town.
Which I also just love that. Like, I just imagine fog, like,
and just gray everywhere. Everything's
fog,
gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a soundtrack idea for that one too.
Yeah, I'm just super excited for this. Like I said, this is one of my favorite games. It's coming with the big box. 6 new Mythos packs that are going to be coming along with it with the extra story. But this one's coming with so many things.
Yeah.
We're getting the scenarios. We get 5 new investigators with so many different types of cards. They say that support new types of decks, and I don't know if that means what that means, but I'm excited to see what that means.
Yeah, so with the investigator decks that came out, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's where you can do the dual class, or was that earlier? Was that in a different box?
Some of the previous, I forget which expansion, but some of the previous expansion cards are dual classed cards that could be used. If you level them up one way, they could be used for this class. If you level them up the other way, they could be used for that class.
Okay, I think that was Path to Carcosa, maybe?
It was that one or the one after that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We're really good at this.
Yeah. We just have so many cards now for them.
Yeah, they just all run together.
But along with the new types of decks, maybe, there's a bunch of new mechanics that are coming into it.
Which that's exciting, because there hasn't been a new mechanic in a while. Because like with Eldritch Horror or Arkham Horror, when they release the small expansions, they almost always have a new mechanic they add.
Yeah.
And that hasn't really been a thing.
They release small, like, they release some new mechanics every time. But
Focus, I guess that was a new one.
There's Focus. There's some things like in the Dreamweavers and things like that.
Yeah,
where you have,
that's
like,
right.
The dual
that's right.
personalities and
So
there's been some, but this one's really cool. We're getting into some classic classic mechanics like blessings and curses.
Yes.
And yay for curses.
Yeah, I mean, not that it wasn't hard
about
enough.
That.
But,
yeah, right. Let's make it harder.
And the flood tokens, I'm curious to see. I mean, that's like perfect with the theme, the flood tokens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm curious to see what that means.
Yeah, floods keys, it says in descriptions. So who knows what that means, but I'm super excited to go through and punch some fish people in the face with my 80-year-old investigator person.
Do you think they're going to release new classes with this one?
New classes would be a stretch. That would be super cool, but the whole base. Yeah, I mean they're ingrained in it at this point. A new class would really shake up the game. I don't know how they would balance that. I don't know what it would look like, but I mean I'm all for new stuff though if they decided to do that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. I mean I feel like the classes they have now already really cover
pretty much everything.
Need. I mean you have.
I mean survivalist is like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can literally choose basically any card.
Yeah, exactly.
And depending on the investigator you use too, you can be like a dual class sometimes.
Yeah, with all the different deck building rules for each investigator. Yeah. That's why I'm excited to see what investigators we get, to see what all the new deck building rules are, to see what kind of stuff we can start combining this time. So
yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, super excited for this one.
Yeah, well, and then right with that one, this is not actually on our list, but we can talk about Barkham Horror's coming out at the same time.
Barkham Horror,
which is so funny because they
was it the plots of Meowlehotep or something?
Yeah, which that was already hard enough to say, and then you add in an extra syllable. But
yeah, Meowlehotep. Yeah.
A lot of but it was so funny because this started out as an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
And then people were like, please do this. Please actually do this.
Yep.
And it's just going to be so delightful. I think we're going to try and get some people together to stream that because it's hilarious.
Yes.
I mean,
it's like everything Arkham Horror and with Nyarlathotep, but dogs and cats.
Yes. And I love a company that doesn't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, the fact that they're doing this is really cool.
Because Arkham,
Good on me, Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, I mean the LCG, all of that's set in such a rough world. Like it's a serious game,
Yeah.
And so I just like it that they can laugh at themselves a little bit.
Yes.
I think it's going to be really fun. I'm excited to see it, and I hope they actually do more expansions for it too. I don't know if they will.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool.
It's probably going to depend entirely on how well Barkham Horror sells.
Well,
because dollars, right?
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Barkham Horror will sell well.
Yeah, get your copies quick.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I'm so excited for all of this new LCG stuff right around the holidays. That's perfect.
So much stuff.
Yeah, perfect for us. So that's really exciting. We got to get our other cards organized.
Yes, we do.
We're a little bit behind organizing our cards.
Yeah.
Which... Let's just talk about that for a second. How is everyone organizing their Arkham Horror LCG? Let us know. Drop it in the chat because...
Please, yes, I would love to see pictures. You can just post on our like social media, tag us or whatever with the pictures of your Arkham Horror.
Because you have to get creative. Like
there's so many cards. And do you guys split up your investigator cards from the scenario cards? Do you put, because we have our investigator cards in binders, like we're playing a trading card game because it's easier to take them out in and out and.
But then our scenario cards are all in the box.
Yeah, they're like in a big chest. Yeah,
which we need another one already.
Yeah, we need another one already. Yeah.
So much.
We're really interested to know how you guys do that. That one.
Do you sleeve everything, or do you just sleeve the cards you're using?
It's a good question too. Yeah.
I want to know about your upgrades. We are all about upgrading games. Because
all about it. All the accessories.
Especially the ones we use a lot.
Yes.
Which would be that TI4, Gloomhaven, and Arkham Horror LCG, which are our biggest games we spent the most money on. So we like to protect
Arkham
them
Horror
always.
LCG or Marvel Champions LCG. Whichever one we're because that one's getting a lot of release attention as well. So anything you got there? Yeah,
well, and like with Marvel Champions, they just released those card sleeves that are custom. The backs are custom.
Oh yeah, are those released already?
No, I mean they just like announced them to be released.
With all the backs.
We should also acknowledge Chadwick. That's just a tragic loss.
Yeah,
that hit us really hard. That was rough.
That is tough.
Yeah, and the fact that he kept it to himself while he was making all these amazing movies.
Yeah, we literally had no idea.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody did. But
he was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, colon cancer in 2016.
2016, and it's a really sad time.
Yeah. It's a tough loss that he just made some amazing movies. I think we were just at the beginning of his career. So I will be excited and honored to play like the Black Panther deck with his artwork and everything. So it'll be really interesting to see what the Marvel Universe does with his character and with the Black Panther universe, because I just think that he just made so much progress, and I think that they should keep honoring his legacy, but I don't want them to recast him, which I know is going to be just like a hotly debated topic over the next few months.
It's going to be a tough decision for Marvel to make, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I do think that Black Panther had such a great, it had so many cool characters, and so I think that there would be options to continue the Black Panther universe or storyline, because I know he had a big part in the Wave 4, whatever they're calling it, this next...
Yeah, the next wave of...
Yeah, I know he had a big part in it, so... I guess I'll be interested to see how much they've already filmed, too, because I know Marvel does that a lot, where they pre-film stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a tragic loss. Yeah. Really, just the nerd community, I think, is grieving for him and his family. So
yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, we'll move on from that. So
all right, you're up next.
I'm up next. Okay, so we talked about Arkham Horror. We talked about Mysterium. Another spooky mystery game, Pandemic Season 0.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am really curious.
Cold War times.
Yeah, I'm really curious if Z-Man already had this planned before the pandemic happened in March. Like if they already had it planned, because that's such a game to develop in just a few months. They had to have it planned and just had good timing. I don't want to say good timing, but
you thought you're like, wondering if they already have it in the pipeline, or was it a response?
Yeah.
I don't know. These games I feel like they would take a long time to develop. But I mean, who's to say that they haven't been planning it for a long time?
A while, so. Yeah. Just Season 0. That's so cool.
They were like, time to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, well, I know, in the past, Z-Man, because they had that Pandemic Rising Tides that they had, and they pulled that game for a little bit because there was, I forgot. It's either a hurricane or there was flooding.
In the area that the...
Well, and they were just like, it's insensitive. So they have good timing, and they're not dealing with easy topics, so
they're not unaware.
Yeah, so they're aware and they're respectful, and I think that they do a good job. So I'm really interested with this one. I think obviously they're going to be respectful, but it doesn't really have anything to do with like an actual viral pandemic. From what I've read so far, it's, your spies, as you said, during the Cold War, and there's I guess the Soviets are developing a bioweapon, which could be a viral.
You're trying to prevent it, is what it seems like.
So it could be virus-based, but like Pandemic Season 2, not to give too many spoilers.
Don't do it.
I'm going to tread lightly. You are not really fighting a virus in the Season 2. You are starting over. Because at this point in season 2, you've been on a ship long enough that your generation has not seen the world.
Yeah.
And so you're at the point where you're going to start expanding again and basically restarting civilization. And so you're actually discovering the world, and that's part of the cool part of season 2 is that the map starts
very small.
I don't even remember what continent it starts on.
I don't remember either.
We're the worst. But you're actually like dropping off supplies and stuff. And so it's not as much about the virus. And so I'm curious to see with this one, again, were they already planning this and they didn't want to deal with the virus in the first place, or are they being sensitive to what the world's going through?
Yeah. I think it being kind of placed in history helps dampen the blow a little bit.
Yeah, it's like not.
It's similar to, but not directly related to what we're going through right now.
But yeah, let's talk about that. Do you think like I was just thinking this the other day? I was watching a TV show and I was in the middle of obsessing about coronavirus, like everyone is, and so it was in the back of my brain. Like I feel like it's just sitting there for everybody. And I was watching this show and they were all in like a wave pool together, and I was like, those people are not socially distancing. Like I was upset about it, and I realized, okay, this was made years ago. And so I'm really curious to see how media and games and the game industry and the book industry, are we going to have a whole wave of like, like I think games come in waves, like we have a bunch of butterfly games that just came out, and a bunch of tree games, and then with books, we had like all the vampire books, all the werewolf books. I think books kind of, our culture goes in these waves, and so I'm curious to see if we're going to have just like this influx of virus themed games and books.
Let's do it.
I don't know. You think people will be tired of it at that point though? Like, do we want to be talking about it even in a...
I think as long as they don't call it the coronavirus game. And
or just lean into it completely.
Or the COVIDs.
The COVIDs.
I
don't know. That feels probably insensitive because...
Yeah, I don't think anyone would do that. Yeah. And I mean, it's a possibility that they would get some... I mean, it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
So it would immediately... It would be easy to get some
flack for it.
Some flack or some publicity. So...
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a touchy topic because it is a very traumatic thing that our world's been going through, and it's been affecting a lot of people. And so...
What do you guys think about Pandemic Season, or Legacy Season 0? Do you think this is the right time? Do you think...
I'm curious to see what everyone thinks.
Yeah, do you think it doesn't matter? Do you think... I mean, it's a game. Let's play it.
I mean, and what does everyone think about coronavirus-themed games? Or not coronavirus-themed, but... virus-themed, pandemic-themed games coming in the next couple of years, once our world has moved on from this and things are better, knock on wood soon, hopefully, than what will, like, 2021 and 2022 look like game-wise and content-wise. Will we see, like, imagine an RPG set in a pandemic world, like, set...
Not post-apocalyptic kind of thing, but, like...
No, like, in middle of this early stages.
Like a World War Z... RPG or something like that.
Okay, World War Z, such a good book. But yes, no, I agree. I think it'd be really interesting.
You have to play the CIA agents and, all the government agents trying to prevent or encourage, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be interesting. So, we'll see. All right, which one do you want to talk about?
Okay, we're going to go to Small World of Warcraft.
Yes, I'm so excited for this one, too.
I am so stinking excited for Small World of Warcraft. Because first off, Small World... Small World.
It's a mouthful.
It for some reason it is today. So Small World is already an incredible game. It's like, oh, look at all these cute little artwork and look at this fun little colorful world, and hey, look at all these mountains and fish. And also, I just slaughtered all your people, but that's fine.
It's fine. You can pick a new race.
Yeah, you'll recover. It's totally cool. Small World, already excellent strategy game.
Days of Wonder just does a great job with their games.
Oh my goodness, yeah. This one specifically, they really hit it on the nail on the head. And World of Warcraft has been a part of at least my life, not so much yours.
Well, I mean, a little bit
up until
Yeah, not before I met you. That was.
I'm small. World of Warcraft has been part of my life for at least 14 years. So, The fact that we're getting a World of Warcraft based Small World is so exciting for me. I'm not sure what I think they're just gonna have all the races in there. I don't think there's gonna be many
Like the Alliance and the Horde.
Yeah, Alliance and Horde. I'm not sure how they're going to play into the faction mechanics because there's races on either side.
Right.
And in general, they've always been, either for Alliance or for the Horde. So it would be weird to see like humans fighting dwarves, like in the Alliance. So I'm not sure how they're going to do those.
That'll be interesting to see if they change the mechanics.
Yeah, to see what kind of rules
like you
changes.
can gang up on people.
Yeah, that would be super interesting.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Because basics, you could talk about basic Small World, like how that kind of works for people who don't know Small World, which you should. That should be a staple of every game collection.
It's pretty strategic, so it might not be for everybody, but it's pretty simple to learn.
It's
so
simple
easy
to learn. And
yeah.
like I know I just sold this game to someone in store. Mm-hmm. They have a 15-year-old that loves Risk. Nobody else in the family wants to play with him, and he is just sad all the time because he wants to play Risk.
Small World. Immediately.
It's great. It's a great crossover game, and it feels easy to learn. There's not a lot of text.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying like a 5-year-old could play it, but I think an 8 to 10-year-old could play it.
Yeah, all the races have all the little
symbols,
chips
to tell you what
symbols.
To do. But as an adult, I don't feel like I'm playing a dumb game. Like I'm not dumbing my strategy down.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, which I like that a lot.
No, Small World's great. Everyone picks a race combination at the beginning. All the races do crazy different things in this fantasy world, and you place out your troop movements, and you're trying to take over the remnants of the past civilizations, and then everyone else comes behind you and does the same thing. We're kind of marching in from the edge of the map. We're newcomers to this small world, and then we just start fighting each other. Basically, first turn, second turn-ish, depending on how crazy you want to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, super simple game to teach, to learn, and then this version it touches my heart a little bit. So I hope that it turns out really well.
Well, I think that's really smart of Days of Wonder to do, and I think a lot of board games are doing this in general, touching a whole different corner of the geekdom. Like
it's really smart.
Yeah, because I think and maybe I don't know, I might just be blowing smoke, but especially after quarantine and the pandemic, people are probably, even people who have never played board games, are going to be changing from a video game based hobby maybe to more board game based.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of crossover for sure, right? Yeah. I mean, I would say that most people that I've come in contact with, this is just personal, most people that like video games and or like board games will and probably would like the other.
Yes.
It just has to be, you have to introduce them to the right kinds, right?
And I think this is a perfect one to bring some video game players over into the board gaming world.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We could send it to your family because they all like World of Warcraft.
All of them.
Yeah, it'd be a really good one for them so they could all play it together.
Yeah.
So it would be fun. But
all right, you're up next. This is your third one.
My third one already, I know. And we'll see, maybe people can guess which one I'm excited about. It's a mystery themed. Can you guess?
I don't know
it is Detective Season 1. Gosh, I just can't say good enough things about Detective. If you have not bought Detective, the base game, this game's by Portal Games. They're a new company.
Like 2 years, 2-ish years.
Yeah, because we got it at...
Their base game came out in 2018?
Yeah, we got it at Gen Con 2018, yeah. Just such a good cooperative game. And so it's set in modern times. You're solving a mystery like a lot of these games are. But it's so unique because you are using your laptop, which I know a lot. Some board gamers are like, no technology.
It works.
It works here. It really does. It does not detract. Same thing for Forgotten Waters. The app does not detract from the
feel or the game.
It's not a video game
it's a supplement.
Yes, it's a supplement. You could theoretically play the game without the tech. I wouldn't suggest it.
Not here.
Not Detective.
Not Detective.
Well, I guess not in Forgotten Waters either. So no, scratch what I said. Ignore that. Edit it. Cut that out. No, you need the tech.
Take 2.
Can't do that.
Right.
Cut that out. So it is completely relying on the tech, but it doesn't feel bogged down, I guess is what I'm trying to say in a better way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Absolutely.
So you use the Detective website and you plug in like a fingerprint analysis or a DNA analysis, or you look up files, and like in the original Detective,
interrogations and stuff like that. Yeah.
Without giving away spoilers, you at one point even have to use Google Maps, and it's just like so good. We got it, like I said, at Gen Con. We played it one of the nights at Gen Con with the other couple we went with, kind of our gaming buds. And we immediately were like, we have to stay up and play this. And so we were doing, and it's crazy because especially like this other couple, we can stay up to like 1 or 2 a.m. no problem. Our other couple is like, 11 o'clock, we're going to go to bed. Which is fine. Fine,
normally.
Whatever.
They were not.
No, because we did Gen Con, and we didn't want to miss out on Gen Con. So we did hours of Gen Con.
Yep.
And then we went back to our Airbnb and played this until like 2 a.m. And we got Chinese food because you have to have Chinese food.
When you're playing a detective game,
yes,
you have
eating
to have
right
Chinese
out of the
food.
container.
Yeah, right out of the container.
And so fun. We didn't finish it when we were in Indy.
No, we played 2 or 3 missions there.
And then played one on the car ride back.
In the car ride back with our mobile hotspots playing this game on the way back from Gen Con.
It was that good.
Yeah, we were so enthralled with the story that it presented and how it was told and all of the decisions that you have to make in it.
Yes.
It was just an excellent thing, and now they're coming out with more.
Yeah, and then we finished it that weekend, and and there's like this card you fill out that we framed. Like, it's just one of the best gaming memories.
Yeah, you have to have a specific group that's willing, because each of those scenarios in the base game at least take a couple of hours at the minimum, but it's totally worth it. If you got a group that doesn't mind sitting down and figuring some stuff out, doing a little bit of brain power for a couple of hours. Well,
and what's tough about these type of games, which as they're developing them and figuring them out, they're getting better, but you have to be really careful with like a quarterback element. And so I was worried about that initially with our gaming group because do we have 2 people that are not necessarily, like, not smarter, but more outspoken?
Yeah.
You know, do our other people still get to shine and get their opinions, you know? And it's going to depend on your gaming group. Our gaming group fell right into a rhythm, I felt like. It was
excellent. Everybody had their jobs that they were doing. Yep. One person was finding the clue cards, and one person was writing down all the info. One person was doing the database.
Yeah. 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 We all just kind of fell into our role perfectly. Yeah, and so it's really going to depend on your gaming group. I would tread lightly, because we have a friend who bought this, played with the wrong gaming group, and it's just ruined it for him. And we're like, please try again. And like, we would play with you, but we know what happens, but please try again. Yeah. So don't let it ruin it for you because you just can't. You have to have a good gaming group. And yeah, so that's base Detective. Yeah. Detective Season 1, it's the same thing. It's going to be fully cooperative. I think they're kind of doing what Timeline did, or not Timeline, Time Stories. Yep. Where
also excellent.
Also a good game. Where they had their original way that they did things, and then they're adding that, what is it called?
The legacy kind of element to it.
No, the new the Handel Project.
Yeah.
They're adding that where it's a little bit simpler to get into.
Oh, yeah. They kind of refine the rules, make it a little bit easier to get into.
Yes.
Yeah, less components.
And so that is kind of what they're doing here. And then the same thing with, I forgot the name, the other game that you use the app for where you scan the QR codes. Chronicles of Crime.
Chronicles of Crime.
Yes. Yeah. So where they're doing expansions that don't necessarily have anything to do with the base game.
Right.
Which, like, Chronicles of Crime just released those 3 that were all set in different time periods, which I'm excited about. But I'm kind of bummed at the same point because I liked that all 6, or I guess all 5 of the detective ones went together. This one, they're doing it differently. They're doing it where there's 3 cases, and each case is set in a different setting in a different theme. Which is kind of a bummer. Like, I'm a little bit bummed about that, but I know that's more, I hate to use this word, but more of a mass market appeal. Like, it's going to be easier to get people to play that.
Because it's going to be difficult for some people to like, for the base game, get people together for 2 to 3 hours times 5. Yeah. Because it all goes together, because you can't just play 1 and then 3. Right. You have to know what happens here. But this one, it looks like that's what they're doing, like you said, is they're splitting it up.
Yeah, which I totally understand. I don't know. I'm bummed a little bit, too.
Yeah, we like the story. We like the campaign type thing.
But I still included it because I love the base detective. I love
Yeah.
what Portal Games is doing. And I'm excited to see... I will still play this. We will probably still love this. We'll probably still play all 3 with the same people.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they're making it this way so that you don't have to play with the same people, which I get.
Yeah, we're still, we're going to play these. Most likely with the same people. Yeah, super excited about this one. Another thing about this one is that they're only going to be about 90 minutes a piece instead of 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So they're shortening them. You know, I like the long stuff, but I get it. I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get this in front of more people.
There must have been just enough of a call for or
like feedback,
complaints. Yeah, feedback is a nicer word. A call for easier introductory stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think so. With so many people getting into the hobby, we have to remember. I mean, not a lot of people. I mean, this is their first time getting into it, so they want people to play their thing.
And I'm seeing that with a lot of companies. Like, even Pandemic has released an easier version of Pandemic. Not easier, again, sounds like a poopy way to say it, but it
is easier. That is what it is.
It's a simpler game, but it's not dumbing it down so much that your veteran players are like, gosh, we're playing this again, you know?
Right, we're playing the dumb version. That's not what it is.
No, and so that's the same thing with like Jaws of the Lion. They're releasing these more mainstream, easier, like smaller learning curves.
Yeah.
So I think it's really smart.
It's very smart.
I still want a long detective game, so I'm hoping...
They just did so well with the first one, you know? I want something again like that, but I can't imagine the time and effort it takes to develop something like that and make it cool.
No, and if they want a huge selling game, like I don't know.
Maybe it was our fault for completely digesting and consuming it on one weekend.
And not everybody can do that. Not every game group can do that, and so maybe it doesn't work over...
That's true. Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but I'm not sure. I mean, we detective. Everybody at our job loves detective. I mean, tabletop loves detective.
Yeah,
so we will be pushing this one a lot because, especially if it's going to bring more people into the hobby.
Absolutely.
Like if you like Clue, you know, play this game.
Yeah.
So we're excited. It's going to be good. So I think one is set like in Great Britain, very like Agatha Christie feel, which.
It's right up your alley.
Right at my alley.
Yep.
That dark, creepy alley.
Yep.
I love it. And then one that's like gangs and criminals in the Italian district.
Yep.
Which, again, come on now. Speaking my language.
Yep.
And then one is set in the United States at a university.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So that'll be really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for them. And maybe they'll expand on them. You know, if we really like a theme. So we'll see. Good job, Portal Games. We really like your stuff.
Absolutely.
So, okay,
Absolutely.
last one. You want to talk about that?
Okay, last one. This is the capstone for the year, everybody.
No, it's not.
Oh, it is.
It's not.
This is. I'm so excited.
I know.
Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, Prophecy of Kings expansion.
Wah, wah, wah.
Lights shining, angel music. Super excited. Or boss fight music.
Can we edit that in? Can we get that? Can we edit that in, Laura? Can we get that in?
But oh my goodness, huge box expansion for Twilight Imperium. Twilight Imperium 4th Edition already included pretty much all of the expansions.
So much stuff.
All of the expansions and races and stuff that came out for the 3rd edition.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's already a huge amount of content. But we have this big box expansion coming out, and it's just so much more. It's 4th edition base game. You get to play with 6 people. Now you get to play with 8. We're getting 7 brand new factions. New dudes to play with. This is going to be awesome. 40 new system tiles with whatever a hyperlane tile is. No one knows, but it sounds cool. It may be like some kind of wormhole thing.
I don't know, because they already have wormholes, right?
Yeah,
in the first one?
Yeah, they already have wormholes.
So it's got to be something different. I'm really curious.
Maybe it's like, you go through it, it allows you to like move more
Maybe
spaces.
you're super speedy.
Super speedy.
Yeah.
You have to be careful or else no, that's gravity wells already. Anyway, maybe you don't stop in this one. But, and...
There's the new leaders and the mech units, too. I know.
Leaders and mech units.
It's going to be really cool.
I'm pretty sure for all of the factions.
Yeah. If I'm ever allowed to play Twilight Imperium again with you, I will be very excited to play this expansion.
I'm so excited. Every time you play Twilight Imperium, it's a whole new experience. with people that have never played, with people that have played, people playing different races. I mean, it literally goes down differently every time, and it's a whole new story.
Yep.
And it's so great. It's a little bit to get into, but I mean, I've introduced this to a lot of kind of newer board gamey people, and they have just loved it. Every time.
Well, and there's we should try to pop the link in the chat, but there is a video that goes over TI4 in like 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's an excellent.
Yeah, half players watch that before. It gives them a good overview of the rules. That way you can get in.
He does a really good job explaining it.
He does a really good job, and that way the first round's always kind of slow. Everybody's figuring it out, and then it goes in. But all of this new stuff, I'm so excited. The mechs, the new factions, new promissory notes, expiration cards, agenda. I mean, it just literally adds to every part of the game. Yeah. And expands on it.
It's gonna be great.
I'm so excited for it. I think I'm the most excited about the 7 new factions.
Yep. Which is already so many factions to choose from. I'm interested to see what they do with that. Yeah,
I'm interested in the 7 new factions, and the 8th, you can play with up to 8 people now. It's literally okay. People made fun of they make fun of Twilight Imperium. They're like, oh, takes your whole Saturday. Well, now it's going to take an entire weekend, and I'm so excited. It actually will
take your entire Saturday and Sunday.
And I'm so excited.
Which is right up our alley because we love to do that, where we will invite a bunch of people over. We're going to play games all weekend, and it's like, okay, you're responsible for this meal, you're responsible for this. We just do this the potluck. So this is right up our alley. There might be people watching this right now that are like, holy cow, that sounds awful. Well, I don't know.
I mean, so here's the deal. So after a certain amount of time, okay, if you don't like long things, you don't like paying attention to things for a long period of time, okay, I get it. This might not be for you. But if you're the type of person that likes to sit down and just have fun while you're playing the game and just interact with people, this game is long. So I think you just need to go into it expecting it to be long and just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. It's going to take a long time. People aren't going to have their turns planned, even though there's 7 other people in front of them. It's fine. Stuff changes. You just got to sit down and enjoy it. And I'm so excited to see just the stories that come out of 8 people vying for this galaxy,
Maybe
this
we should
planet.
Try and stream an 8-person game of TI4.
That would take 24 hours, but maybe we could do that.
Would you guys want to see that? Would anyone want to watch that?
We could do it, yeah. If anyone wants to watch a 24 million hour stream of an 8-person Twilight Imperium, we'll do it,
I mean, last time we played TI4, that was just an epic ending.
Okay, just because you won.
It was so good.
It was really epic. We can go into detail about it at another date. Come up and ask us at the store. How did Madeline beat Chase at Twilight Imperium? Because it was really cool.
There's a small rift in our marriage from that game.
Say that. I wouldn't say that. It was just so memorable.
Yeah, it's such a good game.
Each victory in each game has been so memorable. I remember pretty much all of them because they were so different. Unique.
Well, this is another game that we've just upgraded to the max, basically. There's still some more stuff we want, but...
we got the hardbound book. We got the mat, which there's probably going to be a new mat.
Which would be really nice.
Because of the extra tiles and
so
extra people.
You don't think you're going to just change out the new tiles? You think you're going to add it on and make the system bigger? You would have to with 8 people, I suppose.
think you would have to make it even, like mathematically around the thing.
Fantasy Flight, please do a new mat because I love
the mats.
I love me a game mat. I know some people don't, but man, mats
maybe they're
are just
not. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if the galaxy is getting any bigger or if they're just putting 2 more people in and just boom, you're automatically closer to everybody and stuff starts like that.
Talk about small world.
Small world. In space.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no.
So super excited for this. Just wow. I was not expecting it at all. Yeah. So super excited. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're I think 2020's got some good stuff coming.
What about your honorable mentions?
Yeah. So we had some honorable mentions.
We won't go into too much detail about them, but
Star Wars Unlock.
That's one's coming out.
So cool. We love the Unlock games.
Yep.
Gosh, I have a theme. I have a type, man.
You do.
I have a type.
You like using your brain.
Sure. Like being right. Let's be honest.
There it is. Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah. Three new scenario, or three, I guess they're not new because this is a whole new thing, but the Unlock games has that app-driven card, like you're an escape room feel, but it's going to be Star Wars
But
themed.
Star Wars, it
How
makes
cool
everything
is that?
better.
There's the rebels and the smugglers and Imperial agents. That's just going to be so cool. So that one we're really excited about. That should be coming out hopefully Q4, I think is what they're thinking.
Hopefully.
Maybe sooner. I think they've been talking about that one for a while. So another one, Looney Labs, they make Flux.
Yes.
And they also make
I don't remember. I'm blanking.
I don't remember the other one. Looney something, I think is the name of it.
I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, so they're coming out with this series of games that are very like physical. So there's like nomads. Yeah, lots of bits, which I like that. So they have nomads. They had that chess one. There's I think like 4 or 5 coming out, and they have this really cool retro like parks artwork.
The kind of color
like
scheme.
national parks artwork. So those are coming out in October. And this one has like the trees that you're playing with, and it has like a stacking element. It's kind of some dexterity.
Yeah, it looks very appealing.
Yeah, it just looks like a fun, I don't know, little filler game. I like those. I think this is going to be a great series. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then another one we're really excited about is Escape the Dark Sector. So Escape the Dark Castle came out a year and a half ago. I don't know. Time means nothing right now.
Time means nothing.
Anyway, so this one is a sci-fi theme. It focuses, Escape the Dark Castle just had beautiful artwork, and the Escape the Dark Sector looks like it's going to have amazing artwork.
Continued excellence.
Yeah, that monochrome, black and white, very atmosphere. It's a fast game. It sets up really fast, and it plays like in 45 minutes, which I like that.
Yes.
But it doesn't feel like a dumb filler game. So it's going to be great. It's a bit, again, got myself a type. It's a mystery kind of game. It has a storyline to it. I'm really interested in this one.
I think it's going to be good. Yeah. Absolutely.
So this one comes out in September.
A lot of stuff comes out in September.
Yeah, they're trying to
Q3.
Just get it right in right before, because a lot of these companies probably have big holiday releases too, and so they don't want their other release to get lost in the holiday tunes.
You got to give the money buffer, right? You got a big release and give some time for it to build back up, and then more money.
Yeah. This is Economics 101 with Madeline and Chase. We don't know what we're talking about. Don't plan your release schedule off of us.
Don't do that.
So yeah, this one's gonna be great. So those are kind of our honorable mentions. What are you guys excited about for 2020? Besides, some normalcy and things being back on schedule. Kind of. I don't know if that's actually going to happen 2020. But I think board games, I'm not sure how people did this without board games.
Oh, yeah. It kept us sane.
Yeah. Online gaming has been a new thing for us in tabletop
adjustment,
with streaming and all that. But I'm so grateful for it. I really am. I don't know how we would have made it through this without a distraction. So we love games. We're really excited for Q3 and Q4 of 2020. Let us know what you're excited about in the comments, guys, and let us know if you want us to talk about new games again. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Hit us up on social media, everything like that. Post your questions there if we don't get to them today, and then just let us know.
We'll hopefully see you guys soon. Stay safe and have a good rest of your 2020.
Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.